Trans-temporal minimalism is a contemporary literary philosophical framework developed by me through independent creativity and theoretical practice. I'm not here to claim that I am the inventor of it until it is published, discussed with others, or cited academically. Such statements sound premature. Trans-temporal minimalism is a way of thinking and writing that sees time not as something that simply passes, but as something that gathers inside moments, objects, and people. It uses very words to express deep meaning. Instead of long stories, it focuses on small scenes, silence, and simple images. It shows how past, present, and future exist together in everyday life, helping us notice the hidden depth in ordinary things. Here is a simple everyday example to explain trans-temporal minimalism to a common person. Imagine an old wooden chair in your house. Your grandfather sat on it, then your father used it, and now you sit on it. The chair looks ordinary. It doesn't move, but inside it are many years of memories, voices, and moments. When you sit on it, you are sitting with the past, present, and future together. Trans-temporal minimalism is about noticing this hidden time in simple things and using very few words to express it. Trans-temporal minimalism helps in writing by teaching you how to say more with less and how to give depth to small moments. Instead of telling long story, it trains you to make simple scenes powerful, improves focus, create emotional impact without drama, connect past, present and future, and develop a unique voice. Today we are going to cover second episode in which I am going to discuss about second important points of my theory. Human is no longer the epicenter. Time doesn't begin here. Meaning doesn't wait for us. What you are about to hear is not an argument, but a continuation, a thought already in motion before we arrived. This is trans-temporal minimalism. Welcome back. In the first episode, I introduced the foundation of trans-temporal minimalism, the idea that time is not linear but accumulative. Today, I move to the second pillar of this theory, a truth that unsettles classical philosophy, literature, and human pride. Man is no longer the epicenter of meaning. What does this mean? For centuries, human beings believed they were the center of the universe, the source of meaning, the master of history and nature. From Aristotle to Renaissance humanism, the world revolved around human reason, will, and consciousness. But modern and postmodern thought fractures this belief. Today, the human doesn't stand at the center. The human exists inside systems, meaning no longer begin with us. It passes through us. I'm going to put forward the claim that human is no longer the center through arguments. Let's start with the first statement. Technology has shifted control. Once machine served human intention. Today human behavior is shaped by machine. Algorithm decides what we see, what we desire and what we ignore. Notification govern attention, time, emotional response. We no longer act, we respond. Technology has quietly replaced the human will as the center of decision making. Argument number 2. Institutions outlive individuals. Modern life is ruled by structure, government, corporation, financial system, and educational framework. An individual can disappear. The institution continues unchanged. Power no longer resides in human presence, but in systems that don't need us to survive. Meaning shifts from the human subject to the architecture of control. Argument number 3. Objects remember better than humans. Human memory is fragile, selective, emotional. Objects are not. Buildings retain scars of history. Archives remember without distortion. Data outlives flesh. In modern literature, objects become witness. Human forget. System records. meaning migrates from consciousness to material continuity. Argument number 4. The collapse of the hero. Classical literature celebrated the heroic individual. Modern literature dismantles that illusion. T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland has no center hero, fragmented voices, broken narratives. Samuel Beckett's character weight fail remain powerless. Humans no longer create meaning. They drift inside chaos. Argument number 5. Logical and post-human reality. Climate change, pandemics, artificial intelligence. These realities prove one thing. Humans don't control nature. Humans don't dominate system. Human supremacy was a narrative, not a fact. We are participants, not rulers. An everyday image. Imagine a railway station. Train follow schedules. System operates endlessly. Signals change automatically. A passenger arrives. A passenger leaves. The system remains. The center is not the human. It is the structure. Conclusion. In contemporary philosophy and literature, the human being is no longer the axis of meaning. Meaning now emerges from systems, structures, technologies, material conditions. Trans-temporal minimalism recognizes this shift. Time accumulates, meaning circulates, the human passes through. When time stops survive human narrative, the human stops being central. Why this is useful to literature? This idea gives literature new tools, not just new theme. It explains modern and postmodern literature. Many modern texts confuse readers because no clear hero, no resolution, no moral center. Trans-temporal minimalism explains why. Let's take an example. T.S. Eliot, The Wasteland, fragments, voices, no protagonist, no closure. Traditional criticism calls this alienations. Trans-temporal minimalism says the poem reflects a world where meaning no longer originates in the human subject, but in accumulated cultural debris. This reframes confusion as structural truth, not artistic failure. Let's point number B. It recenters object, space, and system in literature. If humans are no longer central, then literature naturally shifts focus to cities, room, machines, schedules, ruin, silence. For an example, Kafka's system over individuals, Beckett's waiting over acting. Modern dystopias where environment dominates character. Trans-temporal minimalism gives critics a language to read these texts coherently. It also, point number C, it explains minimal characters and passive protagonists. Why do modern characters wait instead of act, fail instead of triumph, repeat instead of progress? Because they are embedded in accumulated time, not moving through heroic arcs. Trans-temporal minimalism shifts the question from what does the character want to what system is the character passing through. This is a major crucial shift. Let's talk about point number D. It allows literature to speak about present honestly. Our world is governed by algorithms, institutions, ecological consequences, historical residues. A human-centered literary model cannot explain this reality. Trans-temporal minimalism allows literature to present power without villains, meaning without heroes, time without progress. This is its real utility. Let's talk about what trans-temporal minimalism adds. Many theories talks about post-humanism, structuralism, decentering the subject, but trans-temporal minimalism grounds decentering in time, not ideology. TTM, temporal grounding, make it philosophically coherent, literally applicable, historically flexible. Why this matters? Trans-temporal minimalism doesn't remove the human from literature, it relocates the human inside time, where meaning survives longer than intention. We don't conclude here. Conclusion belongs to linear time. What remains will continue in system, in silence, in accumulation. The next episode is not a progression, only another crossing with trans-temporal minimalism. Closing not a center, the clock keeps time without our pulse. Thus, things remember more than flash. Streets continue after our footstep. Lights change through one waits. We speak, but system answer back. In the next episode, we will explore how minimal presence replaces grand narrative in trans-temporal minimalism. Until then, observe the system. They are already speak. Ciao ciao. Goodbye.